This is working? Okay, when you're ready, put the... Is this a new link or same link?
Yeah, I can use it.
So this is same link?
Yeah, same link should be. I will check. Same link should be.
السلام عليكم. يا هلا بكم. ان شاء الله بنبدا الحين. دقيقه الشباب حاطين هذا. طيب نبدا شباب. اوكي. طيب welcome everyone. Good evening. Ahmed Bouhlaiqa, chapter director for Dammam Startup Grind chapter. I'm actually quite glad today. Pretty much most of the people we were expecting, they showed up. We are also honored for some of the figures actually here. They are joining us. So I would like to thank Mr. Yasser Al-Qadi. Also from KFUPM, we have Abdullah. He's joining us. And everyone else, thank you for coming. What we'll do today, I'll just do a quick intro for Startup Grind. But before then, I want to thank all of you for coming in because, you know, at the end, your presence is what makes these gatherings beneficial at the end. One of our goals is to get people together for them to know each other. So please join me by thanking each of you. So I would like you to turn to your neighbor, give them a handshake, and tell them thank you for coming. Also introduce yourself and the project you are working on for them. So we'll take 2 minutes. Introduce yourself, and if you're working on a project, we should.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay. طيب يعطيكم العافية. Thank you. Thank you. Can I have everyone attention, please? Thank you. Can I have everyone attention now? Thank you. Okay. الكل موجود معنا؟ بنرجع. ها؟ ايه بالعكس هي كذا. Okay, all right. Let's can I have everyone's attention, please? Thank you very much. So this is actually part of why we do these gatherings, for people to get to know each other. So now you know probably one more person. That person knows hundreds of people. This extends your network of success, whether it's for your startup or the project you're working on. Just to quickly, Startup Grinds, how many people heard about it before? Show of hands. Okay, nice. Okay, yes. I will just give you quickly about it. It started in 2010 in Silicon Valley. The goal of it is to educate entrepreneurs get them to connect to each other and inspire them through monthly gatherings, which is exactly what we are doing here. This went on from Silicon Valley to chapter in every city. Currently, there are more than 500 chapters all over the world. Dammam is one of them. What we are trying to spread and raise awareness about is we want people to look into giving first before taking, making friends before just contacts, and also helping others before helping yourself. For Startup Grind Dammam, the chapter, actually, I cannot take the credit for starting the chapter. The person who started is over there, Ammar. Yeah. It started on a small scale with one of the local networks, then went inactive for a while. In 2018, I took over and we started focusing more on the entire region to increase the scale and get more entrepreneurs meeting each other. This is my team. I want to thank each one of them. We have Hussein. Where are you guys? Come on, at least تعالوا هنا. So we have Fatima. She recently joined us. Thanks to all of you guys. And with their help and the help of some of the sponsors we worked with previously and partners, we were able to deliver five fire chats. We started, the first one was with Omar, and he's actually with us here today. Omar Abu Habaya, CEO of Shakil. And then we went on. The last one was at Bright Up, and also they are with us here today. So thank you all for coming. Today's event, it will be with Masa. We are all excited and looking forward to it. Just before that, I want to quickly thank Talents for their generous, actually super generous help and hospitality. They paid attention to all the details. Welcome here in Japanese. So, Saeed, can you just give us quickly about Talents?
Okay, it's great to host you over here. Quickly, 1 minute, not more than that. It's not about talents, really. It's about networking. And how many of you over here know more than 3 people in the space? 4 people, 5 people, 6 people. Ya Sheikh, 10. Okay, the point is this. I think one of the most beautiful lessons I learned when I was in Palo Alto and some of the gatherings over there with entrepreneurs, the power of the community starts with that network. It's super great to have you over here to create something like that. We need more of this, and we need to encourage these meetings more and more. So thank you for your wonderful initiative. Thank you all for coming. Big advice in order to continue to network, meet each other, and let's build that network more and more. And let's create more Kareems. Everybody's celebrating Kareem, right? We want to create more of these companies and more of these, what's the word? Initiatives, right, okay? We want to create more of these, and this happens again. It's the power of network. It's something unbelievable. When we were in Palo Alto, I am sitting with a person, he's a VC, and I'm talking to him, and he goes like, come, grabs my hand, takes me to another guy, and he says, here, come talk to this guy, talk to that guy. It is these initiatives, the startup grind. Bصراحة, and I'm super fascinated by that, super fascinated by your team. Your dedication, it's not us, we didn't do anything. We just created the space, right? It's your dedication, your team's dedication. It's the founder for something like that, volunteering all the way through. Thank you so much. We owe it to you as a community to support it. We owe it to each other as a community to help each other out and create a bigger, stronger network between us. Can I say thank you for Masa? Thank you so much. We owe it to you. I mean, the story, I don't know how this is going to be set up. It's my first time to be in a startup grind meetup, but reading a bit about your story, knowing that you're here, taking your valuable time and spending that valuable time with us as a community. It means the world. We don't know what's going to happen as a result of that meeting. You might, excite one person to create his own startup. You might excite a couple of people to join together efforts and do something. You might find new partners also over here. So thank you so much for taking that time of you and coming over here and be part of us. So thank you so much and welcome.
All right, and we are actually Startup Grind. Actually, it's our global sponsor, Google for Startups. I got a couple of people. They say you guys are Google's gatherings. It's actually Google. They are a global sponsor for us, and we are glad to have them. All right. So, without further ado, I want to welcome Masa to the stage. Yeah. Okay, so usually, let's see actually how we are doing on time. Okay. So usually we start off by a couple of questions just to get it started with Masa, and then around 8, and then we'll like break around 7:45. I'll try to open it up for questions. And then also at the end, when we end up at 8:30, we'll try to do some highlights. So if there is anything that stands out for you, make sure to remember it. We'll give a chance for you to stand up, give us a quick brief about your project, and also share the highlights with everyone here. Okay? Like a plan? All right. So, Masa, yes. Welcome. First of all, welcome to, I don't think this is your first time in Saudi Arabia, right?
Oh, no, it's the first time.
Yeah.
I think around third time.
The third time?
The first time I came for, King Faisal School for volunteer. That
Wow.
was 6th-year anniversary between Japan and Saudi.
Nice, nice. Okay. So we need to keep using this. Actually, a good welcome for everyone watching us online. There are people watching online. So we need to keep this for them to hear us.
Sure.
I want to start off. Tell us about yourself, like where you were born, what's your background academically and work.
Yes, thank you so much, Saeed and Ahmed, for the kind intro. And for today, I wish I can share everything. And for myself, I actually, suffer from elementary school, which is called stutter. Stutter is like, when you speak, you cannot communicate. So I have stutter for, repetition, like repetition, and also blocking. Like if you wanna speak, stop and learn. So I actually, having stutter from elementary first grade, and I'm still having, but now I cannot imagine I can speak in front of you, but now I'm happy to be here. Thanks so much. And I think my personality, because of my suffering from elementary first grade, I started to care about people who also suffer in any kind of situation. So again, my background, I went to school in the US after graduate from high school, because when I'm third grade of high school, I thought my life is gonna be ended. Because if you're not able to communicate, how I can be able to, enter into university, how I can find job. So I wanted to change my life, and I went to US age of 20 by myself. And what I learned is that if I was super shy, I cannot even speak English at all. But what I learned, if I smile, they're able to listen more. 10 seconds more, 20 seconds more. And if I keep smiling, my personality starts changing, becoming more open and becoming like to communicate with everyone. And I actually went to study in the US. My background is finance. I study finance. I also work at TriMet. That's a transportation company, and we manage debt management policy. So I was the first person who drafted that management policy for climate. And after that, I went to Matrix Waste Management Forum. I actually researched for hedge fund managers about, like making investment recommendation for stocks, bonds, and real estate investment trust. And finally, I joined with Arthur Young, and I actually went to Tokyo because they actually need people bilingual who can deal with, like Japanese English for business. I actually had the multinational clients, like including Nike and MetLife Life Insurance. They want to expand and grow business in Japan, and I was actually helping them to do, expand business in Japan.
So tell us how. So your background was in finance, but how did you get into coming up with Actually, tell us more first about dreaming. What did it?
Yes, for the dreaming, actually this dreaming is come from music scale do re mi. That implies life upstairs of low-income workers want to make it them lifted out of poverty into medium possibility. And what we actually do is, you see 1.8 billion people today, actually they don't have even bank account. And if you also count people who have bank account but rely on informal financial services such as payday loan shark, if you have 3 people, at least 1 person still cannot access the basic financial services. That's what I witnessed in Vietnam. And what we are helping those low-income workers is why not they access into informal loan? They are able to access to the wages they've already worked for the company. It's like work and access. That's what we do to helping workers to access to the wages in real time. They don't have to wait until the payday. They can access to it when they need it. At the same time, you see, people working 8 to 10 hours. This work history, work employment data is precious. What we want to do is we want to empower their hard working history to allow them to gain access to financial services, because many of them, for low-income workers, they don't have bank account. They don't have sufficient data of KYC. That's something we are capturing what they do for their work and being able to prove about their work. And when they're actually sharing their employment data as their asset, they are now able to access to micro finance and micro insurance from offshore financial institutions. That's what we do through our platform.
And then you started when you were in the idea came about when you were in is that?
Yes, exactly. Actually, I was inspired by my father. He actually started from Japanese chef after he graduated from high school. He doesn't have education. He started from Japanese chef, and after that he started a franchise. But when 1995, when we faced earthquake, Hanshin, our Japanese, it's a big earthquake. My father lost franchise and lost loyal customers. And that time he also could barely survive from the earthquake. And he thought, oh, God gave him life. He wanted to do something different and helping people. Initially, what he actually did is that time, for payroll process was everything by hand. So why not, first of all, we can automate this payroll process and we can identify people who are actually hardworking. So he actually started blue collar focus payroll system since 1995. And when there's the 2008, when Lehman Brothers went out of the business, and this Lehman crisis actually affected Japan. And lots of blue collar workers, when we serve, they become which is called internet cafe refugees. During the crisis, what many workers did is they actually lost home because they cannot pay mortgage. So what they did is they went to internet cafe, stay overnight, and coming back to work next day. That situation was, was exactly same as when my father lost everything in the earthquake. So he interviewed them, and what they actually said, they couldn't wait until the payday because they have to feed family and they have to shelter into internet cafe. And what my father did is he wanted to save them. And he had a major shareholder from Mitsubishi, and they say, why you are trying to help internet cafe refugee workers? It cannot be good money. It cannot make money. But he still wanted save them, and he actually fought against Mitsubishi. And what he ended up doing is he actually buy back all the shares. And my family at the night went to $1.3 million debt. And we kind of gather, family, and we kind of make a plan to escape from home. So that was our bottom. I mean, we cannot even meet people outside because they might catch us. We actually went through the past, but because he still believed what he wants, that was actually, like bringing like people's attention, medias, and bringing into profit in the following year. So that was sort of, we kind of made it during very tough time. In 2017, when we had the first time the Vietnam client, it's a semiconductor company that has over 4,000 employees. When we implemented our payroll system, but they still, distributed cash by each employees. It took 3 days. And you see that time, Vietnam dong is like, that time was cheap. So there's mountain of cash. They put envelope and distribute one by one. And we thought it was not efficient. And when actually you see at the payday, in front of factory, there's lots of strangers there, standing there. And workers, after they finish work, they go to, they go to the person and pay something. So I realized, it was like an informal loan. They actually, borrow from them. And I asked the guy, why you borrow him, And he said, because my daughter got sick and he needed buy medicine. That's why he actually borrow money, but end up borrowing other person and repaying the money. So we thought, why not we can stop end to this debt spiral. He was asking for like 2-3 days of wages. So why not he can first settle the payment by accessing to the wages, and if he needs it, he has a proof of work. That's something we empower, and he can access to affordable microfinance from official financial institution.
Then, so that was the beginning of Dorime. Is it then when you started introducing technology, or did you before or after this one?
So that was actually when Dreaming started. So we incorporated in 2015. That's our starting point. So we actually,
All that started
yeah, since 1995.
1995.
Yes,
Father was doing the payroll
yes.
company.
And I actually transformed, his idea into, I see this HR data can be their asset, and there's potential that I might be able to help workers to empower gaining access to affordable financial services. So that's why I founded Dreaming.
And how was it getting from finance into using, you were heavily dependent on so many people they have tough times trying to find the right developers, the right talents to help them get. Was
So can you actually explain a little more?
So how did you get into technology? Like, or actually, how about I rephrase it? What was your experience trying to recruit a tech team to help you with your?
Yes, actually, when you started your own business, it's actually quite difficult to get good talent. And from my experience, what I learned is it's very important to share your vision. And for us, we have a vision for unbank, want to actually make it bankable. And from there, they are able to access to the wages, so they are able to stabilize their life. At the same time, when they want to enhance their life, they need loans sometimes. And why not we can giving them access to affordable loans. And from there, still, workers, they don't have even pensions. After retirement, how can they actually save their retirement? What I'm thinking is why not they actually paying to some kind of goods, let's say for restaurants or grocery. There's a food, it's it's almost going to spoil, but it's still it's still safe food. When they actually consume for type of clothes, type of food, when they spend, they're actually able to save, and that's gonna giving them retirement fund. That is also what we actually envisioning.
How was your experience hiring the first person?
Yes, for us, our first tech person was, for startup, just no name value, and even we cannot compete with the pay with big company. So the most important lesson I learned is to share about what your value and what your vision.
How long did
It took 1 year. Yeah. Yes. But it's very important. Otherwise, it's very hard to find. So yes, I wanna ask you, what is your vision? Would you like to share someone?
anyone want to share?
Because it's very important. Yes.
Inspiring my vision from my project. I started at 2012. It's recycled polyethylene, and I make my factory in Royal Commission area in Jubail. My vision is change the recycled material from the junk material until to recycled raw material until the filament, recycled filament, and my vision to inspiring the children in the schools to make the shipped and the small invention in the school from the recycled material, from the filament. That's my ambition.
It is so interesting. Actually, recycle is related to children. Children wanna play with recycled material. That's very lovely to hear. Mm.
Teach him to how they use and reuse the material.
Very interesting.
Good job. Um, so, so then you started, right? You got the first person started going. That was 2000. When you were operating on Japan, scale or
Yes. So started from Japan, and after like 1 year, so 2015, like October, we advanced into San Francisco, and from San Francisco to London, London to Singapore, and for Singapore entity, they're now covering for Southeast Asia, and we are already live in Vietnam. We just expanded to Saudi and see the opportunity. And currently, we have a discussion with SoftBank, and SoftBank actually has a telecom consortium, and they're actually offering blockchain platform that allow people to transfer money at affordable cost. So they are competing with bank to bank transfer, but wallet to wallet. SoftBank has a stake in India, which is called Paytm. And there's like UAE, many foreign experts are Indian. So they actually like approaching us. They have an infrastructure, but they're looking for services. And we think we can actually work together using their infrastructure. We are offering the services.
So this is in 2019.
That's it.
So I'm interested to know about, at the beginning when you were trying to convince people, at the beginning, how was it? What was your experience? So, at the beginning within Japan, how was it to convince them and then going to San Francisco?
Yes. Yes, so actually it was quite hard, especially when you try to partner with banks. They won't listen to you. But how actually we approach is, we attended any pitch contest in Japan. And initially it was difficult, but try to pitch again and again and again, and we started winning. So one time we actually got award. It was in 2016, Japan #1 startups. So it actually helped us to increase awareness. And we actually attended pitch contests. We partnered with 7 Bank in Japan. We attended their hosted pitch contest and we approached them. So that was the initial approach we took.
So you recommend going to contest? Some people they say, well, at the beginning, you have to watch out. At the beginning, yes, but then yourself a limit. How long was this?
So at this first year, we attended all the contests. I think that was actually good approach. Otherwise, we couldn't even communicate with 7 Bank. 7 Bank is a leading digital bank in Japan. And because we actually won the contest, they actually supported our API integration. And you'll be surprised when you want to actually integrate into their full banking system. It is very costly. We actually spent $1.5 million. That's something actually 7 banks help us to pay. So that was really, really helpful for us. And if we didn't have that track record, we couldn't get to into other markets. So it was very interesting experience I had.
And how was it going into San Francisco?
Yes, for San Francisco, there's called TechCrunch. That was actually invited by Japanese government. Why not, pitch and, present it to a US audience? And after I made a pitch and talked to, many people in the US, they've actually got interest, including QuickBooks, they are offering accounting software. So I start to get lots of interest. So I think there could be an opportunity. And you'll be surprised in the US. When you talk about payday loans, 1.2 million people actually, accessing this payday loan. But can you guess how much it costs in the US? Any idea how much it can cost? And the average payday loans they access is $350. How much it costs per year? Can you guess? In the US, how much you think it's going to be expensive for you to take loans, small loans? Any person? 0%. 0%. Yes, actually, it's 300%. I should not ask him. So because yeah, he's actually working with me. Yes, actually, it costs 300%. I mean, it's desperate. I mean, 1.2 million people, and many of them are Hispanic and minority. So I thought there's an opportunity if we are targeting Hispanic, being able to, improve user friendly for Hispanic, there could be an opportunity for us to helping them.
Awesome. So I am gonna open up for questions. Anyone has question for Masa? Okay, we have question here. So please, when you say your question, your name, and then the question. So we have a question about how Doreaming is working with the refugees.
Yes, for us, actually, the UK government approached us when there's a refugee crisis. They thought our solution might be able to apply to refugee crisis. The big problem about refugee is they don't have ID, identification. Exactly. And what we actually do is when they're actually going to work, they are going to develop their work history. At the same time, what they actually did on their history, we are currently using blockchain to capture their data. It's starting now. And once they actually, develop their history, so they, let's say he used to work as a doctor, but he become refugee and let's say coming to Saudi. And because he cannot actually prove he used to work as a doctor or he cannot even open up bank account. But the blockchain has the opportunity that we can capture what they actually used to do it. And also, so actually the behavior, the first of all, it's a history, like employment history, but he actually used to do for work and what he currently does. And also when he started joining in the workforce, we are also capturing what he actually does. We have a like plan and what he actually did is actual data. So we are capturing this HR and employment history to prove what he does. And also because we are also calculating this payroll, the wages, he's able to, access to the wages, and banks are more comfortable because they're, when they need to collect repayment, we can do payroll deduction. So that is number one. And the UN, United Nations approach us, and currently so UN actually has basically called cash for employees. They have more than 1 million people is working for deficit area from the earthquake and from war. And they employ local people working for project basis. And do you know how UN from New York actually pay for those cash for employees? By the way, in annually, there is actually $2 billion UN is actually paying for 1 million cash for employees. But can you guess how UN is paying to them? Is there any guess? Any guess? Cash, if paying cash, how they bring cash and giving to the person? Because for deficit areas, there's no even infrastructure. There's no even bank existed. There are actually two ways they actually do. Did you say car? Moving by car. Another guess? Trucks. Actually, good point. I mean, truck, car, they actually use helicopter. Helicopter will bring in the cash and from the sky to drop the cash, but it is still dangerous. I mean, who won't actually drive the helicopter going there, drop the cash for employees? And second, what they actually do is they use intermediary. They're giving payroll, and from the third party intermediary, they will actually distribute cash to cash for employees. But the problem is it's very, very costly and it's not trustworthy. I mean, they might put some money into the pocket. Exactly. Even so, refugee, they actually work in the refugee camp. So there is UN is also looking for the solution. How they're able to, distribute wages in digitally, securely, and more efficiently. So that's also, some kind of project, we are currently working. That's something I wanted to share. So there are, some, variety of issues there. Exactly. And at least they are provided by, mobile phone. That's the opportunity. So currently we are discussing for the planning. Yes.
So, okay, we'll go here. Okay.
My question is in regards to the strategy. One of the hardest you set like a long-term strategy, or do you very frequently after?
So actually, that's a very good question. That's something I and Agi is talking, all the time. But it was kind of surprise. I mean, for our short-term strategies, because we don't have any name value, so it's always great to be partner with financial institution. I mean, I don't have to have full banking license. They have a banking license. We can offer in the technology to make it, early access to the wages. We actually did discuss, and is it okay to say the bank name? Or free? That's right. Okay. There is actually the banks who is completely leading for digital banking. And I was very excited because they are the only one who can actually process eKYC. So KYC is know your customer. And banks collecting, ID and proof of data so that they are able to open up bank account. But only there's a one bank in Saudi that they can do online, eKYC. And I was excited because this digital banking, it's a future to actually helping financial inclusion. People who are out of financial system, we are able to include it. That's the opportunity. And when I actually had the meeting with them, they actually said we want to have large corporates as the customers. So even the banks who is leading for digital banking, that's the opportunity to empower SMEs, empower people who are out of banking system, but they still want to have this Aramco or like those big companies. So currently what I came up with is, why not we go through Sandbox? Sandbox currently Summer is offering Sandbox that startups can experiment. And Summer is what's called deregulated in the area under Summer's supervision. So the startup can do all kinds of experiment. And if there's something wrong, that time Sama is going to, set the rules and regulations. So this sandbox is quite interesting approach because in Japan, the regulatory like to think box first. So they will create the box and you do something you think innovative. I mean, how can we actually make innovation, right? So this sandbox approach is very interesting. That's invented by the UK, and now some are already applied. And I think they did already first round of sandbox. So if we actually go through sandbox and get banking license, I'm sure future there's even IT company or some other, like fintech companies, they might want to work with us. And at least we have a banking license. We are enable offering the service to, like helping those people and SMEs empowering. So that's what we currently, think about the, opportunity, how we should move forward, because there's no bank who is not care about SMEs. I was very surprised. Even I went to Bahrain, there's the biggest, Bahrain bank, but they clearly told me they have a list, I think top 100, the top companies. If you are not working there, we don't give you even penny. We don't even loan you even penny. He was strongly saying that. So that can be the opportunity for us, empowering SME, because Alibaba, Jack Ma, he actually launched Ant Financial. He empower SMEs, giving loans, and now Ant Financial is most influential financial institutions in China.
Awesome. We look forward to see you working. Hopefully, get into some sandbox.
Yes.
Yeah. We have a question.
Kind of following up on the same point, you're accessing part of society, disprivileged, quite microloans. The two things that come to my mind, any difficulties in actually paying the loan back, and how you will stay profitable. In essence, you're helping people that want to become profitable. How do you combine both objectives, and what's your experience so far? Yes, for us is actually we are not asking users to pay any fees, because we believe, that's their right. That's their human right, that they are able to access at least the wages they've already worked for the company. What we actually come up with, we have an opportunity to make money by transaction. So when employees already access to the wages, and when they actually pay, transfer money, there's a transaction fees.
So you don't loan people money. You just give them access to whatever money they earn daily, or is it?
Exactly.
Yeah, instantly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is, that is our, initial offering. Then we'll move to this empowering, HR payroll data for them to access to affordable micro finance from the offshore financial institution. And the key is that the banks, why they don't want to open up bank account for SMEs and their employees, is they think it's costly. When they actually run KYC, open up, like they check money and laundering, when they issue bank account, they are, demanding for how much they can bring it to us, because they have to earn from interest. But this we can actually giving banks to make money by transaction. You'll be surprised, even like yesterday we attended blockchain workshop. Just like Bitcoin and those mining, it's very small amount they can get commission, but just one company in Iceland, Genesis blockchain mining company, they're actually spending $3 million for utility fees, like cooling, all kinds. And they have huge warehouse, but they are very profitable. So this transaction can actually give banks for new opportunity, not just only interest. If interest, they have to actually, increase interest to compensate because there's a risks. But we actually giving banks to allow them to make money by transaction. Yes, for us is what we actually found is for Japanese case is like what we call is underbanked. I mean, most people, 97% of people have bank account, but still 1.5 million every year they are taking payday loan. That's cost them 20%. And for the case in India, there are lots of still huge number of people who are unbanked, and Indian government step and they actually giving limited bank account just by fingerprint. But problem is they don't use bank account at all because you can see if you have bank account, you deposit, but you won't have saving when the end of the month is coming because many people are living paychecks to paychecks. And if we are putting money on the bank account, when the balance become negative, banks will charge you overdraft, which in the UK it's cost around £15 to £20. US it costs around $20 to $50. So that's still banks practice. We have to question they are actually making money by punishing people. So that's why fintech we still have an opportunity because there's a clear problem. We are able to tackle utilizing technology and heart.
We had a question. Yes.
Question about failures. So where in your time did you feel that, when in your mind you felt that this industry I'm creating, this industry I'm creating that failure, and what happened to you? Did you ever live through a moment like
Yes, for us is especially when we open up Indian office and we had the 8 people, but unfortunately we lost all of them. The reason is I think there's a cultural difference. So for Japanese culture, what we value is discipline and be punctual. But for Indian employees, we actually set up the meeting. Everyone come, but I mean certain people, I mean they come late. Even client meeting, they also come late, and especially Bangalore. I mean the huge, even much heavier traffic jam than here. I mean from the same distance I drive from my hotel to Bada, it took 20 minutes, but India can take easily 1 hour. I totally understand. But still, if we have a meeting with client, if they're late, we lost trust. So at least we have, like we understood, but at the same time, we don't want to compromise because it's very simple being punctual, being on time, but they still cannot keep. That's gonna actually lose trust. So unfortunately, we face an issue and kind of we argue, they have also their reason, but when we couldn't continue working with them, it was ripple effects, like also, I mean, one people left, other people left, and end up everyone's left. But I still believe if we don't have the same value, I mean, the team will fail. So after the things, we have to clearly communicate what we can compromise, what we cannot compromise. That's something I'm learning. That's actually a very good question. What I learned from this 3 years when I go to other country, don't expect you can win in a short round. I learned in India, I thought it's a huge market, number of people, number of unbanked. I thought we could quickly launch, our services. But we actually face this internal conflict between employees and myself. And also for people in India, it's much more different way of communicating. They like to have much more like informal communication, informal meetings. So sometimes it was very difficult to go to next progress. So every country assume we have a learning curve. I will say at least 2 years. But the point is how we actually win to entering new market is we have to be patient. So there's only two ways you can win in the new market. One, large company putting, capital and grow. Number one. Number two, like startup. We are patient, communicate with people, trying to, bring potential partners and launch it and marketing. And if you actually be patient doing continue business there, India market itself grow, next year grow, and next year even further grow. So if you do business there continuously, the market will grow. So being patient is most important. But most people go into new market very short-sighted and they miserably fail.
We actually have a question from online. Um, they are interested to know what type of guarantee need to be submitted by SMEs who are out of any financial institute coverage to, I guess, to be able to work with Doremi. With, to be able to use Doremic services, do they need to submit any financial, if they're not covered by any financial institutes, do they need to submit any guarantees to be able to work with this?
So actually for us is we partner with banks and we are offering payroll system and payroll service for free. So company actually sign up our payroll system, and because we work with financial institution and we use their payment gateway, being able user early access to the wages and store the payment. So the company need to sign up our payroll platform, and we have to find local partners in each market and being able to offer early access to the wages.
And you said you started working. You are trying now to start in Saudi and then more into the Middle East. But how is it in the other areas? Like I started in Japan and Vietnam. How is that?
Yes.
How many, or actually also if you can say, tell us, how many workers are benefiting from your system?
So yes, so currently in Vietnam, we launched last November, and currently around 2,500 users in Vietnam, they're actually using our services. And what their employer tell is one, like client tells, that's the way they are able to attract and retain people. Because if you see restaurant ABC, young people, students, they don't much care about which restaurant they want to work. But if this restaurant A offering this real-time access to wages, that's actually attracting those young students and people want to work at the restaurant. And at the same time, when they start to use this early access to wages, they tend to stay there for long. And currently, we have call center customer, and you'll be surprised when call center customer, they actually train people. They spend so much marketing cost to attract people. They train 3 months, but when they handle customer claim, they end up leaving the call center. So they actually came and used our services, and now they're actually retaining much more employees in Japan. So exactly. It's actually called like financial wellness. And currently, like in the US, $300 billion it's cost for financial stress, because financial stress actually affect employees' ability, making error, become absenteeism, end up losing loyalty, and all kinds of impact on. It's not only employee itself, but also company level.
Do we have more questions from audience? Okay, I'm interested to know, have you experienced losing someone who's key to your company?
Mhm.
Have you experienced, or have you came to a point where someone who was very important in the company and they decided to leave?
To leave.
Hopefully, no, but was there someone?
Ah, currently, luckily not yet.
All right, well, okay, we have one more question there. Your name and the question.
Because actually, so first of all, what we offering, especially SMEs, is payroll. That's a direct benefit to them, and we are actually offering services for free. And at the same time, now that their employees, they can now already access the wages, and they don't even charge for the amount they've already worked for the company. The point is currently when you see credit card or debit card, when they swipe, merchant actually pay for some commission to the banks and credit card company. But for us, we actually gave merchant to exclusive access point of contact. So let's say like we have movie theater and we have also pizza chain stores. And for movie theaters, actually they do Wednesday morning, it's 50% discount. And our users, many of them are like part-time or blue-collar workers and tend to be Wednesday is their off time. So we are actually matching them, like movie theater is able to send a coupon to those people who are time off on the Wednesday. And this pizza store, they actually find out from our users, this employee is working in this, like let's say 500-meter distance. And because this employee is like to buy pizza at every Friday night. And based on this transaction data, we can actually helping the pizza chain store to offering the coupon. The point is we have an opportunity. I mean, those blue collar workers, their income level is low, but why not when what they actually spend, we can reduce some of the costs that allow for us to reduce income gap between white collar and blue collar. That is also something we are working on it.
It's actually very fascinating what you are trying to do. I mean, use of technology and implementing it in a way that you are helping the community in a fascinating way. So you guys are all not only doing transactions, they are also doing, data mining and so on and so forth, and the use of that one. That means your technical team is quite uh, talented, and we have you, how was their experience? How was your experience when you were trying to launch the technology, especially at the beginning? How was it? Did you have some, failures and tell us?
Yes, so actually, important thing is that, I mean, if you think of resources, especially startup, is quite limited. So the key is how much you are able to influence others. So for us, we actually made influence to banks. They have a resource. They actually brought resources to work on our project. We also brought conglomerate, I mean, general trading company to be on board on our project. We are giving them incentive for other sales partners, and they also brought technical people on board.
And how was it when you were launching the technology at the beginning? I mean, I know multiple companies, they thought they tested the technology and it works, but when it comes to launch and working on it, launching it, then all the bugs come. Did you experience?
Yes, I mean, for us, it's luckily our payroll in this banking integration has been done, I mean, for many, many years by my father. So we didn't encounter much of, like errors or something like that, but it was very helpful for the Japanese trading company was backup, bringing large clients such as Mining Group, that's a major taxi company in Vietnam. They brought us as a customers. So that's very helpful. I mean, you can increase your sales force, but you can also work with company because they are actually looking for another opportunity. So our approach is want to keep the team small, but want to influence and bringing supporter and company to be on board. That's like ally. That's something we are currently working on it.
Do we have any more questions? Audience? We're almost okay. The last one. Hold on.
I, yes, actually, it was very interesting because he gave me a hint of new business opportunity because each employees I think has different pay cycle. So if we can create community and this person has just received the wages, they can wait. But this employees, it's close to payday, it's very tight. He needs money. So why not community, peer to peer, worker to workers? They are able to support each other by using this different cash flow or different pay period. Mm. Yeah, that's right. That's very interesting. I want to discuss with you further.
Okay. Well, I wanna close up. You can tell us maybe some recommendation for people who still have ideas in their heads and they're not they're not able to take the next step in it. What do you recommend for them?
Yes, so actually, when I study business, I never thought telling vision is actually influence people and bringing people. I never knew about how vision is important. So I want all of you have your vision. What is your vision? That is most important takeaway what I learned. It's both. If you have both personal, professional, that's gonna be even better. And when you actually start doing business, being patient, those two are the most key takeaways.
Thank you, Master. So, let's do some quick highlights. Anyone something that stood out for you today and felt like aha moment, like this is it. Gonna take it with me home. Anyone want to share? Jack.
I think it's just awesome. I'm from the United States. I moved many years ago, but I saw these payday ripping people off right and left. I think they can hear me. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah. Like you said, I was thinking it was if I have a paycheck of $300, it's 10%, but that's $30 on that $300. So that's every week or every let's see, every week or every 2 weeks. So you add that 10% every week, and it's outrageous. And you're doing a wonderful service. This is an amazing product. Um, I wish you all the luck.
Anyone else want to share? Okay. So actually, there, Saeed.
No, I thought it was interesting how much you're stressing on the vision and having a vision, right? And I agree with you regarding the vision part. And I also believe that not necessarily the vision, I think, as much as it is seeking a vision. When we first started Talents, we had no idea what we would grow into. We knew that we want to bridge a gap in education. And the vision was, as long as I think we continue to seek a vision, to find it, we will discover it. When, I don't know, I could discover it when I'm in high school. I could discover it when I'm in 30 years old, 50 years old. Because as long as we continue to look for that, And I think that's what matters from my.
The main thing that really touched me about Durham is how, like, you give second chance for refugees. I work with refugees here in Saudi Arabia, and I see their challenges of having a stable and normal life. Just opening a bank account, transferring money for someone they know from the west side of Saudi Arabia. Everything is just extremely hard. So this technology is, يعني, now I see a different image of financial technology and how this communities and this great ideas can make our lives better. So I really love this, and I hope we have a more expansion of your business here in our local regions. And regarding the visions, I believe 6 years ago I was without any network. My network was very limited, and I didn't come from a business family. I didn't come with a family with a lot of network. So I said, okay, guys, we need to do some community, just anything. And I get amazed how those guys is just, they're everyone in the community, anyone in the street, they're very open. Everyone would love to help. Everyone would love to give. Okay. After 5 years of just communicating, I ensure you guys that everyone that I know has really helped me to get into e-commerce and business. Especially, I have this guy. He just opened investment for me, and he told me, "Okay, Ammar, express your ideas, work for it." Anyway, and I love this, and I think from this we can get great things. Thank you, Ahmed. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Sorry for just taking time. Actually, yeah, thank you. So actually, he opened my eyes because like I'm doing now my second startup. My first startup was a total failure. I've been like for 6 months trying and knocking doors here and there. But after he said like there's a different way of positioning the values here and there, so there's a different way of like approach and using like I love the stories you have, and that's why we take it now. Also at Bright Up here, we started. We changing the values according to the end user what he want. So this is the vision I'm seeing is very great. Thank you very much.
About the vision, I remember when I share a short story about myself. Before, I think before 9 years, I established the first document here in Talent Center with Mr. Sahib. I told him I want to be my mentor, and he told me most welcome. I will told you the three golden wisdom. The first, about your vision, be patient. The second, establish your networking. And he gave me the first three networking. I entrance the لين الخبر لين startup with Mr. Hussam Al-Madani and with the other two guys, لين الخبر startup and KPBM and Riyada. And they and I make the first document for my project. I don't know how I make my feasibility study. I don't know how I do for my business, and he helped me a lot with the aviation team and the talent center before around 9 years, and I make the first prototype here, and I follow my dream from that day. Now the years they moved, and now I make my dream true. And thank you so much.
Thank you all. There is actually a small gift. We usually don't give out gifts, but we thought you are coming from Japan. So we, if Saeed, please join me. So this is a small gift given by, it's actually sponsored by Arkham Media. We want to give it to you as a small souvenir from us. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, Master.
Thank you very much.
There's one more thing.
Okay.
I love Startup Grind, and I love your business. And I think this is one of the most valuable ever thing that we've done. Well, a lot of fabulous things have happened over here, but this is really one of the great. And this time we decided to have it here to stay for Startup Grind at any point in time. We would love to host your speakers, right? And we would like you to sign be the first speaker to sign that. Let's see how many signatures we can have in it.
Actually, this is also a good segue to the group photo. We would like to have everyone go there. We'll take a group photo all together. You can't sign any place, right? Oh, that's a nice signature. Can you all please everybody join us? We haven't tested yet how many kilos the station has.
No, wait. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, please. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, okay? Okay, thumbs up. One, two.
انا ثانك يو سو ماتش والله سمعت من الببليك بس مش عارف ايش اللي صار دخلت ثانك يو سو ماتش اميزنج اميزنج صراحه هذه حياكم الله فين المرة؟ ما عندي مشكلة. فين الماركر؟ هذا هو. هذا إريسر. هذا ايش هذا 3 دي برينتنج كان حق مفاتيح
في داخل الشركه نفسها. We'll see. عمل اجتماعيا.
Where's the marker? واحد في المية من الترانزاكشن اللي صايره بس 1% ما اعرف بس sometimes gonna be cooked right now مش عارف we design very المدارس بدأنا
هذا انت ما تبغى كرت هذا دائما تطيح اول مره